Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today we are going to look at SPM English writing, specifically on short communicative message. I'm sure by now you will have known how to write an email, right? So today we are going to focus on common mistakes and how not to do them in order to get full 20 marks in the SCM. Now let's take a look. Let's look at the sample question. Let's read the question together. You receive an email from your friend Farah, who plans to help a classmate, Alia, move into her new apartment. Hi, Alia and her family are moving into their new apartment this Saturday. We should lend them a hand. Let's go together. Where should we meet and what time works best for you? I'm still thinking about how we can help them. Any ideas? Should we bring anything? Let me know what you think. Farah. Write an email to your friend in about 80 words in the space provided. So you can use the following technique to answer SCM. Do you know who this character is? Yes, it's Olaf, and what is it trying to do? So this is the technique. Greedy Olaf ate 11 chicken salads. You can memorize this and repeat it as many as you time to remember. Greedy Olaf ate 11 chicken salads. Now let's look what Greedy Olaf ate 11 chicken salad means. So G is for greeting, O for opening, A for answer, E for elaboration, C for closing, and S for sign off. Do you notice that there is number 4 over answer and elaboration? What does this mean? This means that because there are 4 requirements in this question, so you need to have 4 answers and also elaboration. Mind you that for elaborations, you don't need to elaborate all. But if you can, at least 1 elaboration for the answers. Now let's see the sample essay. So greeting is hi, so this is the greeting. This is the opening. So this is requirement number 1. So in the next line is the elaboration for requirement 1. Next is requirement 2. And the next line is requirement 3. You notice that I do not put any elaboration for requirement 2. This is because I believe that requirement 2 is already clear and straightforward and does not need any elaboration. Now, here the next line is the elaboration for requirement 3. This is the requirement number 4, and the next line is the elaboration for requirement 4. The next paragraph is the closing, and here is the sign off. You are free to screenshot this page now so that you can refer to this anytime that you want. Let's proceed. So here comes common mistake number 1, not answering all requirements. So this is sample question 1, the same question that we have read just now. So this is the first tip. Please underline and label all the requirements. So what is requirement number 1? Yes, where should we meet? And what is requirement number 2? Good, what time works best for you? Anyone wants to answer requirement number 3? Yes, it's how we can help them. And the last requirement? Here, should we bring anything as requirement number 4? So after you have answered all the requirements, what you should do is to cross off the requirements after you answer them, like this. R1, cross. R2, cross. R3, cross. R4, cross. So that you won't miss out any of the requirements and you can get all score 5 for content. Let's move on. So the second common mistake is going off topic. So let's look at this question. What time works best for you for R2? So this question asks you to give the time suitable for us to go to Alia's house. So let's look at the first answer. I work best at 8 a.m. This is wrong. Now we go to work at 9 a.m. So this does not answer the question as well. And the last one, we should meet on Friday. So the question asks you to answer time, not day. Now let's look at R4. What should we bring? So if you answer, we should bring some friends to help, it is wrong because the question asks you to bring something. So it should be a thing. And the next answer, if you answer, we should bring her to the mall, it is wrong as well because it does not answer the question. So what you should do is to read properly and understand all the requirements. Can we move on to the next slide? Here we go. The next common mistake is giving vague answers. What is vague answer? Vague means not clear. So for example, for R2, ask you for time and you answer, I'm free anytime. So you keep wondering, so what time? And we should meet in the morning. So you know that morning starts from 12:01 a.m. until 11:59 a.m. So when is the time? Next, we should meet before my mother goes to work. So if my mother works as a nurse and has a night shift, so she starts at night. So do we meet at night? Or if my mother is a teacher, she works in the morning. So should we meet at 6:30 in the morning? So it's not clear, it's vague. Or if you answer, how about meeting at 8 or 9? So this is vague because the question asks you to give suggestions, not to ask back to the person. So choose either give straightforward and specific answers, and just for example, you just give 8 a.m. works best for me. It's very clear. Now let's look at R4. What should we bring? That is the question. If you answer, we should bring something. So do you know what something is? No, right? So it is vague. Or we don't have to bring anything. So it's not really answering the question, it's quite vague. So examiners will think, should we give marks or not? So why take the risk? Just give a straightforward answer like we should bring them some food. It's very clear. Now for common mistake number 4, using the wrong name in greetings. So this is very serious. Let's look at this. You answer, hi Alia. This is wrong, right? Who you are writing to? You are writing to Farah. So this is the correct one. So if you do this, it is called global misinterpretation. So what is the effects? So if for content, you will get 0, although you answer all the other requirements correctly. Just because you answer the greeting, you write the greeting the wrong name. So what you should do to avoid this is to write hi without the name. So don't use any names in greetings to avoid global misinterpretation. Next, common mistake number 5, not using enough linking words. Do you know what are linking words? So linking words are divided into 2. The first is basic linkers such as and, but, or, so, because, firstly, secondly, thirdly, and finally. What about the next one? It is called cohesive devices. So what are cohesive devices? So they are every other linking words other than the basic linkers. So what you should do is use at least one cohesive device correctly to elaborate your answer. This is important in SCM. Now here are some basic linkers and cohesive devices, and I have divided them into their own functions. So note that the ones in green are basic linkers and the rest are all cohesive devices. Feel free to snapshot this page as well. Now let's take a look how it is used in an essay. So what are the linking words used? You can take your time to read the essay and pause the video if you like. So let's look at the answer. So, yes. Because, yes. And, yes. So, yes. And the last one is, this is because. So are they cohesive devices? No. Yes, you are absolutely right. They are not cohesive devices. They are basic linkers. So the maximum score for organization for this essay is only a maximum of 3. So what you should do? You should upgrade your and, because, and so. So how can you do it? So let's take a look. So for so, you can replace it with therefore. And note that therefore is a new sentence. So you should put a full stop before the word therefore. The next is you can replace because with since. It has the same meaning, but since is a cohesive device, whereas because is a basic linker. Next, how can you replace and with? Good. You can also replace it with plus. It is a new line, so put a full stop. The next line is so. So what can we replace so with? We can replace it with thus. Thus is also a new sentence, so don't forget your full stop. So the last one, this is because. So this is a basic linker. How can you replace it with? Very good. You can replace it with after all. Are you clear? Now let's move on to the next common mistake. You can also change the way you list ideas. For example, in R3, how we can help them? Any ideas? Let's look at this answer. We can help them by carrying the boxes, arranging the furniture, and cleaning the house. This is an okay answer. It is very clear and straightforward. However, this answer does not use any cohesive devices. So we can upgrade them. How? Let's take a look at the second answer. We can help them in many ways. Look at this. For example, so this is a cohesive device, carrying the boxes, arranging the furniture, and cleaning the house. So it is a good answer because now we have a cohesive device here. However, do you know that we can upgrade even more this answer? Now let's take a look at this. We can help them in many ways. For example, carrying the boxes and arranging the furniture. Full stop. And another cohesive device used. Furthermore, we can help them to clean the house. So mind blown, right? The same ideas, but one without cohesive device, one with two cohesive devices used. Now, activity time, you can use this time to elaborate and upgrade the following sentence to include some cohesive device. So the sentence is, we should bring some fruits, nuggets, and chocolate bars. So please pause the video and press play again when you are ready with the answer. Are you ready? So here is the sample answer. We should bring some food like fruits, nuggets, and chocolate bars. So here is the cohesive device, like, to give example. Furthermore, to add on a new idea, we can bring some cold drinks. Here, there are two cohesive devices. Now the next one, you can also use opinion boosters to give suggestions and opinions. Opinion boosters are also cohesive devices. Did you know that? Now let's take a look. So here are some opinion boosters that you can use. Now let's look at the R, the requirement 1. Where should we meet? Let's look at the example. In my personal opinion, we should. Can you guess which opinion booster do I use here? Yes, it is opinion booster number 4. In my personal opinion, the blue one in bracket is optional. And the yellow one is compulsory, but choose only one. Here I choose opinion. In my personal opinion, we should. And then how can you continue it with? Take the main verb or in the base form from the question. So what is the verb? It is meet. It is in the base form? Yes. So let's add it. Meet. In my personal opinion, we should meet at the cafe near Alia's house so that we can eat before we start. Sounds good? Let's move on. Here are more opinion boosters. So from number 1 to number 12, everything here will follow the same. Here are the other opinion boosters. So the sentence here will follow the same pattern like the previous example. For example, opinion booster number 1. My personal recommendation would be to. So after the word to, you also use the base form, meet. Everything here from number 1 to number 12 follow the same thing, except number 11. I can't recommend strongly enough. So for this opinion booster, the verb should plus ing. So the answer would be like this. I can't recommend. Remember, the base word is meet. So here you add ing. It will become meeting at the cafe near Alia's house strongly enough. Are you clear? Very good. Let's move on. Here is common mistake number 6. Using too many cohesive devices. Now you have learned cohesive devices and you want to put in so many. But it is not quite right. Now let's look at this sample essay. You feel free to pause the video so that you can read the sample essay. So what is the mistake here? Let's read line number 1. From my point of view, I'm free, so I'd love to help. What is the mistake here? What is the cohesive device here or opinion boosters used here? Yes, it is from my point of view. Why is it wrong? It is not an opinion phrase, so instead you should just write I'm free this weekend, so I'd love to help. Now let's read the second line. In my opinion, I think we should meet at the cafe near Alia's new house. So which one is the opinion booster or cohesive device? Can you find it for me? Yes, they are in my opinion, and this candidate also used I think. So why are they wrong? They are redundant. Redundant meaning repeating the same thing. They are all both the same meaning. So instead, choose only one. In my opinion, we should meet at the cafe near Alia's new house. Or if you want to use I think, just use one. I think we should meet at the cafe near Alia's new house. Don't use both. Now let's read the next line. Because we can have breakfast first. Correct? Because is the cohesive device used. Why is it wrong? It is in a wrong position because shouldn't start as a line. Shouldn't start a sentence with because. So you should continue it like Alia's new house because we can have breakfast first. Okay? Is it clear? Now let's find the cohesive device in the next line, which is yes, it is however. So it is wrong because it does not show contrast with the previous sentence. So it is a new sentence, right? So you don't use however. So instead, you can use as for the time. 8 a.m. works best for me. Let's continue. The next line, the cohesive device used is furthermore. It is wrong because it does not relate to previous line. Remember, furthermore is used to introduce an additional point from the previous point. So we can say that instead of furthermore, we can say I really think another opinion booster, we can help them in many ways. Now let's look at this one. For example, this is wrong because the next line is only a list. So if you want to use this, it is in wrong position. If you want to use this, you need to continue. For example, with a comma. For example, a comma and the list, carrying boxes and arranging the furniture. Now the next line is a little complicated. So here the mistake is in my view. In my view is giving opinion, and I believe that looking at that this essay is quite repetitive. It sounds similar with "in my opinion," it sounds similar with "I think," so we should have a variety. So let's change it to "as I see it." We should bring some snacks and drinks too. Here I add the word "to" because it is an additional point to requirement number 3. What should we bring? Next, for the last one is "it is because." So why is this wrong? So do you know it is a wrong word choice? It shouldn't be "it is because." Because this one, it should only use this if you answer the question directly. If it is a statement, you should use "this is because," not "it is." It's a very common mistake. Don't worry, you may not know it before, but now you know it already. So remember that cohesive devices are like spices. If you throw in too many spices at one time, it will not taste right. A curry will not taste like a curry. It will taste something different. Instead, use sparingly so it will sound delicious, right? Next common mistake, number 7. Writing overly long SCM. Nobody wants to read lengthy emails. Am I right? Now let's look at this sample essay. Let's compare to essay A. You can pause and take a look. It's quite good with a lot of cohesive devices and good lines. And now let's look at this for A essay. It is 152 words, quite lengthy, right? What about essay B? It is simpler, but it's still good with a lot of cohesive devices, and it answers all the question and with only 82 words. Can you guess how many marks would you give to both of candidate A and B? Yes, you got it right, I think. Candidate A will get 20 marks and candidate B will also get 20 marks. So what's the difference? So candidate A might use 30 minutes to write and B only 15 minutes to write. Remember that you only have 1 hour and 30 minutes to write your essay. So use your time wisely. Now let's look at the introduction for essay A. How are you? I'm fine here. I hope your parents are doing fine too. I'm sorry for the late reply. I've been busy with my schoolwork. They're so long for an introduction. It's very unnecessary. Now let's look at essay B. Thanks for getting in touch with me on this. It's very simple. It's only a one-liner, right? So it's very simple and good. So this comes to my next tip. Do use simple English and write a one-liner for your opening. So remember, the simpler is better. Now, what if you don't know how to write your own opening? You get very nervous during your exam. So what you can do is, you can memorize some of these universal opening. Number 1, it's great, fantastic, marvelous, wonderful, or splendid to hear from you again. Remember, you can choose one for yellow. And blue is optional. Number 2, I'm pleased, delighted, or thrilled, meaning happy, to hear from you or receive your email again. Or, thanks for dropping me an email, or thanks for getting in touch with me on this matter. Like this. You got it? Good. Another tip is don't write too long or over-elaborate, because an email you only require to write about 80 words. Next, don't spend too much time on part 1. Why? Because you only have 1 hour and 30 minutes, right? So you should plan for 5 minutes, write for about 10 minutes, and check for another 5 minutes. So the total time, maximum time I would suggest you to spend is 20 minutes for an email. And common mistake number 8 is the use of foreign language. Foreign language means language other than English. For example, in part 1 SCM, should we bring anything? And you answer, we should bring a penyapu and a penyodok to Julia's house. Don't laugh, this really happened when the candidates are really nervous. Now, this is wrong. Why so? Because there is a common name for both the Malay words. Do you know what are the common name in English? So, penyapu is broom and penyodok is a dustpan. So, if you know there is a word in English, don't use the other foreign language. We should bring a broom and a dustpan to Julia's house. So this is the correct answer. So don't use foreign language if there is a common name for it in English. Next, what about example 2? We should bring some nasi lemak to Julia's house. So imagine that you are a Korean or a German. Do you know what nasi lemak is? What's that? You don't know that, right? So what can you do? So no context is given. So what can you do? You give some context. So what is nasi lemak? It is food. So right, we should bring some food like nasi lemak to Julia's house. So now we know, although we don't understand what nasi lemak is, but we know now it is a type of food. So always give context whenever you have to use foreign words. Next, example number 3. We should bring some satay to Julia's house. Can you guess whether the word satay is accepted or not? It is accepted. Why so? I thought we cannot use foreign language. Here is a special case because satay is accepted in the Cambridge or Oxford English Dictionary. So here are other common Malay words that are accepted in English. So you can use foreign language without context if it is accepted into the Cambridge Dictionary. But if you are unsure, just give the context. Why take a risk? Am I right? Now let's try this exercise. One of the cultural traditions still practiced is the joget. This is wrong. So how can you improve this and make it right? Yes, you can do. It is a dance. Joget is a dance. You add the word dance here. One of the cultural traditions still practiced is a traditional Malay dance called the joget. Or one of the cultural traditions still practiced is the joget. It is one of the most popular folk dances in Malaysia. Now, do you understand? Very good. Let's try another practice. One of the most popular cultural traditions is Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Now let's pause the video and try to improve and make the sentence correct. So here is the sample answer. One of the most popular cultural traditions is the celebration. So here the context is given of Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Now we know that Hari Raya Aidilfitri is a celebration. Or one of the most popular cultural traditions is Hari Raya Aidilfitri. It is a special celebration by the Muslim community. Or one of the most popular cultural traditions is Eid al-Fitr. Why it is accepted? Because this is a word accepted in English and commonly used in English. Next, common mistake is about wrong spelling. So please take note, students, and don't do these common mistakes anymore because it is very risky. Now, furthermore, it's missing the letter R. Yes. In addiction, it should be in addition. Gonna. You should use going to. Wanna. Want to. Media social. This is a Malay word. So in English, it is social media. Best friend. What's wrong with it? It's not one word. It should be 2 words. Best friends. Next, wrong choice of words as common mistake number 9. Do you know what is the difference between beside and besides? They both have different meaning. So beside, let's look at this sentence. Aiman is my classmate. He sits beside me in class. So here beside means di tepi. Beside. What about besides? Football is a popular sport. Besides, it is fun. So it is adding another idea. So translation, di samping itu. So besides with an S is a cohesive device for additional ideas. Now, wrong choice of word. Another example is everyday with two words and everyday in one word. So for every day, I love tea. I drink it every day. It means setiap hari. What about every day? I wear my everyday shoes to work. Do you see the difference? So here everyday means biasa, common. It is an adjective that means common or ordinary. Do you know the difference now? Let's move on. Another wrong choice of words are you, your, and your. So this is very common errors made by students these days. So let's look at you. You should choose the sports club. So it means kamu. Meanwhile, for your, this is your birthday present. It means kamu punya, your birthday present. So it cannot start the sentence here, your birthday present. What about your? You are my best friend. It means you are. It is a contraction of you are. So it means kamu ialah. So there are differences in meaning for you, your, and your. So please make sure you have to be careful and not careless when writing your essay. Next common mistake is wrong arrangement of words. Now let's take a look. I and my friends. Why is this wrong? I and my friends like to play football. This is wrong. Supposedly, you should write my friends and I. Remember, in English, you should put others first before you. My friends and I like to play football. Let's look at another example. I and my family always eat at home. So what is the correct answer? Yes, my family and I always eat at home. Remember, put others first before yourself. Next, common mistake number 11, wrong arrangement of words. This is very common, have many, because this is a direct translation from Malay language. Ada banyak, right? So let's look at this. Have many things we can do at the mall. In Malay, it means ada banyak benda kita boleh buat di pasar raya. Am I right? So that's why a lot of students do this mistake. So this is wrong. You should write, there are many. There are many things we can do at the mall. So this is for plural. What about for singular? So the word have will change to has. Very good. Has a, ada satu. So in Malay, you can write has a nice waterfall there. So in Malay, it will be translated to as ada satu air terjun yang indah di sana. Kan? Betul kan? So this is wrong. This is a direct translation. You should write there is a. For example, there is a nice waterfall there. This is the correct answer. Now you know the difference, right? Don't do this anymore, okay, students? Now for another example is the word also. Let's take a look at this sentence. We ate also burgers there. This is wrong. Why do I say so? So what is the verb here? Yes, the verb here is ate. So the word also should be placed before main verbs. So it should be like this. We also ate burgers there. Correct? Let's look at the second pattern. It also is very fun. So can you guess which one is the verb here? Yes, the verb is. But the verb is different than the verb ate. It is called a verb to be. Other than is, do you know what they are? Yes, there are am is and are for present tense, or was and were. So if you want to write a verb to be, so the word also should be placed after verbs to be. Example, it is also very fun. Now let's take a look at the third pattern. You also can get more discounts. So again, which one is the verb here? Yes, the verb is can. It is called a modal verbs, another different type of verb. So here, can you guess the word also should be placed before or after? Very good, it should be placed after modal verbs. So the answer would be, you can also get more discounts. You got it? Don't worry if there's too much information, you can always replay the video whenever you like. Now that's the end of part 1. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment in the chat box and we will try to answer. Okay, all the best for your SPM and all the best for your English language papers. So I see you when I see you. All the best. Bye.